If you're scrolling through endless cabinet saw options, you're probably wondering whether any of them will actually pay off in your shop, or if you'll end up spending a small fortune on a machine that just sits there. I get that hesitation. A $4,000 plus saw is a serious commitment, and you don't want to waste money on the wrong tool. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk through the real-world experience of the SawStop Professional 3 HP cabinet saw, break down who really benefits from it, and point out the hidden trade-offs that often get glossed over in the spec sheet. Let's start with the safety system, because that's the part that sets this saw apart from every other cabinet model you'll find. SawStop's patented safety brake literally detects contact with skin and drops the blade within milliseconds. In practice, that means if you ever catch a fingertip on a moving blade, the blade stops, drops below the table surface, and the motor shuts off. For a shop where kids or apprentices might be around, that safety net changes the risk profile dramatically. I've spoken with a few shop owners who say the peace of mind alone justifies the premium price. They can let a junior apprentice make the first few cuts without the constant anxiety of a potential injury. Now, the next thing people usually worry about is accuracy. The 52-inch professional T-Glide Advanced Rip Fence that ships with this saw is not just a long fence. It's a system that slides on hardened rails with a smooth, self-locking action. When you lock it in place, you get repeatable cuts within 1/10 of an inch across the full 52-inch width. I've seen hobbyists try to use a cheaper fence on a similar size saw and end up with a noticeable drift after a dozen cuts. With the T-Glide, you can set the fence once for a series of plywood sheets, walk away, and come back to find each piece still within tolerance. That kind of consistency saves both material and time, especially when you're producing cabinets or doors where each component must match. The saw's motor is a 3 HP, 120-volt unit, which delivers enough torque to push through inch hardwood without bogging down. In a real-world scenario, imagine you're ripping a batch of cherry for a dining table. You start the blade, feed the board, and the motor holds steady. No stalling, no need to pause and let the blade regain speed. That smooth feed translates into cleaner cuts and less tear out, which is something you'll notice if you're trying to achieve a professional finish without having to sand out rough edges later. But let's talk about the practical downsides, because no tool is perfect. First, the footprint. At 85 inches wide, 33 inches deep, and 34 inches tall, this isn't a piece you can tuck under a workbench. You'll need a dedicated space, preferably a permanent station with a sturdy floor. If you're a weekend warrior who stores tools in a garage or a small basement, you'll have to plan for that real estate. Second, the weight. The cabinet and motor together push the scale past 600 pounds, so moving it even once requires at least 2 people and a set of rollers. That's fine if you're setting up a permanent shop, but it's a hassle if you anticipate relocating. Another consideration is the power draw. A 3 HP motor pulls a significant amount of current, which means you need a reliable 120-volt circuit on its own dedicated breaker. I've heard from a few users who tried to run the saw on a shared circuit and experienced frequent tripping, which can be frustrating mid-project. So, before you buy, double-check your shop's electrical capacity or be ready to upgrade the panel. Who should buy this saw? If you're a serious woodworker, a small business cabinet maker, or a professional who needs to produce consistent, high-quality parts day after day, this machine hits the sweet spot. The safety system alone makes it a responsible choice for shops that train apprentices or have family members around. The T-Glide fence and extension table give you the flexibility to handle everything from small trim to full-size sheet goods without swapping out accessories. And if you're willing to invest in a proper space and electrical setup, the long-term gains in speed and precision pay off. Who should skip it? If you only cut a few pieces a month, or you're primarily a DIY hobbyist who works on occasional projects, the upfront cost and space requirements may outweigh the benefits. A less expensive contractor-style saw or a portable job site table saw could handle occasional rip cuts without demanding a permanent spot. Also, if you don't have the electrical capacity for a 3 HP motor, you'll end up spending more on a panel upgrade than the saw itself. Let's address the value proposition beyond the headline specs. The best-in-class cutting performance that SawStop touts isn't just marketing hype. It's the result of a motor that can sustain full power under load, combined with a blade brake that never compromises.